to Insight. We are joined now by Casey Weed from Howard Bailey Financial, and we are talking today about different types of advisors because, like most things, it's important to find the right match for you. So what are the different types of advisors, and how do we go about finding the right type for us?
Well, simply put, there are two main types of advisors out there, and there's an accumulation specialist and there's a preservation and distribution specialist. And the easiest way to think about this is to think about the doctors you've used as you've progressed through the different stages of life. When you were younger, you had a pediatrician, and then you had a family practitioner, and then you had a geriatrician, and slowly you progressed to these different types of doctors because you need different types of expertise as you change those different stages of life.
Right.
And those same different attributes that you need during that part of your life apply to your financial life as well. You need someone that specializes in different areas. Now, as you're accumulating to get to that glory land called retirement, you're working really hard and you're trying to accumulate and create return at all cost. And once you get to retirement, you say, okay, I'm here, now I just want to save it, I want to preserve it, I want to make sure it's there when I need it, I need this for income now. Let's switch gears. And you bring that to your advisor, and sometimes they're quite honestly, they're trying to do the best thing they can for you, but they've been in this accumulation mode for so many years, now you're having them shift gears, and that's not really what their expertise is in.
Right.
The easiest way to find out what kind of advisor you have is to figure out what they're talking about. What are they bringing to you when you go and talk to them? Are they talking about the return on your money or the return of your money? Usually an accumulation specialist will sit down and say, well, number one, this is the type of return that we're going to be able to get you. Then you say, well, how safe is that? And then they talk about, well, this is the type of income or dividends and interest it's going to pay. And then with a preservation or distribution specialist like ourselves, our number one concern is income and safety. And return is last, because it's more important once you get to retirement, that return of your money rather than return on your money.
Okay.
What else is important for retirees to focus on when they're getting a financial planner or choosing a financial planner?
Well, while we talked about preservation and income and distribution, those things being of utmost importance, there's something else that is very vital to retirees today, and that's health care costs. Health care costs and health care expenses will be the largest expense of your retirement, quite potentially, if not guaranteed that to be.
Sure.
A study recently found by Fidelity Investments found that a 65-year-old couple will need, on average, around $240,000 to cover their long-term care expenses, or sorry, not their long-term care, but just their basic health care expenses once they get to retirement. That doesn't include long-term care expenses.
Wow.
And that price is actually increasing at about twice the rate of inflation. About 6% a year since 2002 is the rate of increase in the cost of those health care expenses. So if you don't have a plan of attack, you should have multiple plans of attack for these health care expenses, and you need to start factoring those things into your retirement plan. If you're not, it's time to talk to somebody that has that area of expertise, that preservation or retirement specialist rather than the accumulation specialist.
So especially knowing that, how does one go about finding the right advisor for him or herself?
Well, we talked a little bit about health care costs and retirement planning versus accumulation planning, and then we get into, well, what are some of the more specific traits that we look for? And number one in my mind, and I think the most important thing anybody should look for, is to find a certified financial planner, a CFP. That's going to cover a lot of your bases. That's going to be someone that has the education and the experience and the knowledge of a wide range of different topics, and someone that's, most importantly, a fiduciary. That person is a fiduciary. Now, what does that mean to you?
I don't know exactly.
Well, it kind of sounds like some financial jargon, and it's really a big deal in our industry right now. It's something that's really going on in the media a lot that's very important. And a fiduciary is this. Well, first, the statistic is only 15% of financial advisors are fiduciaries.
Okay.
Now, what that means is only 15% of financial advisors have the legal responsibility to put your needs ahead of their own. That's a pretty shocking statistic.
Yeah, it's a little scary.
It seems like it would be common sense, but it really isn't. And then secondly, you need to find someone that's an independent. Someone that's an independent financial advisor can bring a lot more to the table. When you're working with someone that's a captive, they may only be able to use certain products, certain mutual funds, certain insurance products, and things like that. I've actually heard an advisor say before, well, my employer won't let me use that product because it's a bad product. When in reality, they're only allowed to use maybe a half a dozen different insurance companies, and the top 7 mutual funds are the ones that they're really supposed to use because they receive extra kickbacks and extra compensation for using those companies, or their company just won't let them use them. So you need to find someone who's a CFP, someone who's a fiduciary, and someone that's an independent financial advisor.
All great things to look for when we are looking for a certified financial planner. So give Casey Weed at Howard Bailey Financial a call today. He can help you out, or you can email him info@howardbailey.com. We'll be right back on Insight.